Hi guys, working on the NEC, VCN20EU, the mono, the one that I bought for the capstan motor to put in the Beta HiFi, and turning out that it's not the same. So I've decided to repair this, and I have got it to play a tape and everything, but I'm going to pull the capstan out because I want to replace the capacitors on this capstan motor, because that is what's causing the problems with the servo. We're running at the right speed, and then it doesn't, and then it does. So I was taking I have to take this reel table motor assembly off in order to get this out, this capstan motor out. So check out what I found underneath. There are some bugs. See there's bugs. There's some little critters that I'm gonna get out with this paper towel, but anyway, so I'm working on this. I'm gonna get this motor out of here, change out those capacitors, and see if that changes anything. It most likely it will. I'm about 95% sure that by changing the caps on this capstan motor, we'll solve the issue, the speed issue. Okay, I've got the capstan motor out. Now here are the two capacitors. These are 1 microfarad caps, and I think these are either 50 volt or 16. They might be 16 volts. But they might be 50. I'm gonna have to take a closer look because I don't know. But this magnet, this capstan, has a magnet on it, but it also has information that's recorded onto this outer piece here, and this magnet is got info recorded. So you want to pull this off before working on this, because changing the caps, if you accidentally touch the magnet, this part where my thumb is on, if you accidentally hit that with a soldering iron, you'll ruin it and you'll have to replace it. And to get a replacement motor for this, you would need to buy an SL300, because the SL300 has this particular capstan motor. So I'm gonna pull the magnet out. Okay, so we'll lift that off now. I'm gonna get my soldering iron out, and I'm gonna take these two caps off. And I guess what we could do is we could do a test on them real quick and just see if they're registering bad. Because if they're registering bad, which I'm sure that they are, let's just test. So I'm gonna test the two caps here. Let's just test them. And positive on that side, negative on this side. So let's just test it here. Yeah, okay, so, yes, they're bad. These electrolytics have failed. They're not completely open, but they are reading real low, so they do need to be changed. So we're going to change them, and that should help with that should actually repair the problem. That should fix the problem. Okay, so there's the new capacitors that I'm going to put in, and the old ones are out, and we'll put the new ones in. Now, the one was fine, but the other one stunk of fish. Smelled like fish, and that's because the capacitor was bad. So I'm very confident now that this is going to repair the issue. This circuit board is what controls the speed of it, so that should fix it. So we'll put these in, and I'll put it back together, and we'll fire it up, and we'll see how it performs. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've got two new capacitors. I had to do a bridge on one of them, but there's the new capacitors freshly installed, and we'll do is we'll plug this thing in and fire it up, and we'll see if changing that the capacitor has done any good. It will. It should. It should work, and the reason is like, so one of the capacitors was leaking, and it actually peed all over the board and damaged the trace to the capacitor. The one that had the damaged trace was this one right over here. This capacitor right here, right by my finger here. This was the one that was bad, and we changed both of them, as you can see, both brand new. But this one we had to do a bridge on both leads because both leads got damaged. So I had to go from the cap to one of the pins on the lead going from that cap went to one of the leads on this chip, this IC chip here, and the other one went to one of to this. So anyway, the long story short, it's now installed. I've put the capacitor, I put the capstan motor back in, changed the capacitors, put the capstan motor back in. It's all installed now, so let's plug it in, and let's just see if that repaired. These were 1 microfarad capacitors. They were 50 volts. So these two are 50 volt caps, and those were the ones that were bad. So let's check and see if this might have fixed the issue. Okay, she's plugged in now, so let's power it on and see what our results are. I would say that is a success. We have no more pulsing. The servo is locked in. So the casting speed is now correct, and the player, as you can see, is playing beautifully. Now I can't show. I keep forgetting I can't show the whole screen because YouTube will hit me with a copyright content. So we'll just do that. That way they can't hit me with nothing. Or we'll go like that. Or like that. We'll cut half the picture off there. This is Back to the Future, of course. One of my favorite movies from the 1980s. The 80s were a great time to be alive. They really were. Even though I wasn't born until the mid-80s, and I kind of missed out on some of the 80s, but okay, so there we go. Now we're gonna, let's do fast forward. There we go. Bring me a treat. Oh. I'm hoping that YouTube will be kind and realize that this is just a demonstration, I'm not trying to, I'll put my hand like that. I'm not trying to get a copyright, so. Anyway, so this thing is playing beautifully, guys. And the tracking, I've got the tracking in the center. So one of the things that I found out that this tape guide right here, this tape guide was actually loose, and I had to tighten it up a little bit and do a little bit of alignment on there. But we got the tracking dead center, and it's playing back beautifully. I forget just how crappy mono is. Mono really was a terrible way to hear the audio on a videotape. The hi-fi was definitely way better than the mono. You know, you could really tell the difference between mono and hi-fi. And this is obviously a mono deck, so it cannot play back the hi-fi, but it does have the audio, the mono, linear mono. So I got the old grease off of there, and so it's not gummed up anymore. The gears are actually nice and clean, as you can see. And they were, the old lubricant had dried up, and that's why it was having so much trouble loading and unloading the tape, threading the tape, I mean, around the drum. So, and every once in a while this door flap will stick, so I still gotta figure that out. But at least we got a working machine now. And oh yeah, I had to take the front off. Reset the counter. Had to take the front off because I had to put the belt back on the counter. The belt could stand to be replaced, but it's not. It's still working. The counter belt still works, but it's not that great, but it still works. So it's working very well. So let me put the tracking knob. We gotta get that back on. Also, there was a couple of plastic buttons that had come off, and these buttons right here for setting the time. So I gotta put those back in, but I gotta glue them because the plastic has gotten so brittle that they broke. They just broke right off, and even the tracking knob has got a little bit of a broken piece, but the tracking knob still works. So let me put that tracking knob back on. There we go. So as you can see, the tracking is now in the center, and if we turn it over to the right, out of tracking. And before we had to do that, we had to turn it all the way to the right before in order to get it to track. But now it tracks beautifully, and it's back in the center, and it now works. So I'm very happy. Okay, well, she's all back together, and I'm happy with it. I've lubricated everything. Did a full service on this thing, so this thing is ready to go. It's ready to go out the door. So it'll be going to its new owner as soon as it sells. I've just listed it on eBay, so somebody who wants a beta machine, just a plain Jane model, that's cheap, because this is going to be a cheaper one. This is not going to be an expensive model. This is going to be under, under 100, and I'm going to I'm starting the bidding out at about $40. So the shipping is going to be $60, and start the bids out at $40, and we'll see where it goes from there. But this is a cheap beta. I'm asking a buy it now price of $130, so I think this is worth $130 because this thing will play back beta tapes, and they can either digitize tapes or use it to record off TV with. So anyway, that's gonna complete this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.